So where does the latest Clinton scandal go as we thank Brian Yennis? Does it simply get buried in the media onslaught of Donald Trump news? With us, John Stanton, Washington Bureau Chief of BuzzFeed.com. John, nice to be with you. Thanks for coming back, buddy. Do you get the sense that the media is dedicating enough resources to looking at all of the Hillary Clinton scandals, whether it be the 2 email scandals, the Clinton Foundation, the pay-to-play, all that?
Yeah, sure, I do. I think we are definitely putting a lot of resources and energy into it. I think the problem is that there's a lot of smoke and a lot of this stuff with some of the emails and with, like the pay-to-play kind of accusations. There's definitely indications that might have gone on. No one yet has really been able to nail it down hard. But the bigger problem, honestly, for Republicans is that every time one of these things comes up and we start focusing on it and stories start rolling out from outlets, Donald Trump opens his mouth and says something, and it's always something that distracts the entire world from her.
So in a sense, sort of whatever Trump says is a little juicier and a little easier to grab onto than digging through pages and pages of Clinton emails and the like.
Or it's harder for stories that are going to be looking at what she said in her emails, going through them and saying, well, this person asked for this, but it's unclear if they actually got anything. That's not as easy to digest, frankly, as news consumers, as Donald Trump potentially saying maybe somebody should go shoot Hillary Clinton or a judge or something like that.
Didn't quite say that, but point taken. If you look at BuzzFeed's homepage, which we did a couple of minutes ago, there's an investigative piece up about Donald Trump and how he has dealt with some of his hotel investors and those kinds of things. Very well reported, well thought out piece. And at the same time, as we pointed out in the past week, there's been a lot of Clinton scandals. Search for Hillary Clinton, there's not a big splash story on that. What do you think that comes from?
Again, I think part of it comes from, this happened to be a story that we were working on sort of exclusively. We were able to get these emails and these documents a little bit early from this case that's going on here in Washington. So there's that, frankly. But, and also, we do a lot of work on Hillary Clinton. We've written quite a bit about her emails and about this scandal. But again, when everybody's writing a story, when the television networks are all doing it, we spend, frankly, less time doing that kind of thing because we have resources that we spend more wisely than just sort of scattershot like that.
Well, to that point, if all the television networks aren't doing the Hillary Clinton stories and are doing the Trump stories, why not go harder into Hillary, you think?
Well, again, I wouldn't argue. I would argue that they are doing. I think you guys do quite a bit of work. I think CNN the other day spent several hours on it while other people were doing stuff on things that Trump was saying. So I don't think, but again, I think that they aren't as sexy of stories because we can't yet nail her down on what she did in these things. And the biggest question about them, and the biggest problem, frankly, for her out of this email story is that it once again demonstrates that the Clintons kind of look at themselves as being above the normal rules of how you go about doing politics, right? Like a normal politician would probably have said, I'm not going to have email because I don't ever want to get in this problem because people come after me time and time again. Hillary Clinton doesn't really think that applies to her, right? So, and I think that's, we're still kind of stuck at that stage of like, well, once again, we know that Hillary Clinton doesn't think that like the rules of controversy apply to her.
Interesting you put out that a bit, sort of the way the Clintons do business. I was talking to Mike Huckabee, a Fox News contributor, former governor of Arkansas, and he was talking about how the Clintons, back when they were in Arkansas, used to run Arkansas, in his words, like their own third world country. It was their own piggy bank. They had the Rose Law Firm to do kind of things however they want. As you see how the Clintons have now handled things over the from 2008 to 2016, after Hillary Clinton was no longer a senator, do you get the sense that they're kind of now running the country in the same way, same tricks, just higher stakes?
Well, certainly her campaign, yeah. I definitely think that like they look at things. They're a very isolated group of people. They've gone through a lot of controversy over their careers, and so they have become very sort of a tight-knit but very small group of people that they trust. And they don't, and it's never really hurt them, frankly, operating like that. If you think about it, right? Like,
yeah.
President Clinton won twice, and she became a senator, and she's
paid a couple $100 million in the process. They haven't done bad for themselves.
No, yeah, and I think that kind of behavior and that kind of a world sort of just comes together and makes it so they feel like it's okay.
John, thanks. Appreciate your insights, and when you do have a big Hillary scoop out there, come back and talk to us about it.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.